Alright, so here's our notes for today. So the first thing, select all the expressions that are equivalent to 7 times 2 minus 3n. Okay, so remember, this is just where we're using distributive property, like we practiced a few class periods ago. So we need to multiply the 7 into the parentheses. So 7 times 2 is 14, right? And then 7 times negative 3n, that'd be negative 21n. So what we're looking for here is anything that is similar to that. So 9 minus 10n, well, that's not the same, right? 14 minus 3n is close, but they didn't times the 3 by 7. Whoops. But then this one matches, right? 14 minus 21n. Then if we look at these last two, we have 2 minus 3n times 7. Well, that's still by the parentheses, so we distributed it. Then 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times negative 3n would be negative 21n. It's the same now, so we want to circle that one. And then we have 7 times 2 times negative 3. Well, that would be multiplying them all together. So 7 times 2 would be 14, but then you're still timesing by negative 3. So that would not get the same answer. So just those two would work. So that was kind of your quick review of distributive property to help you with today. Okay. So the next one is a bunch of tape diagrams, which is what we practiced last time. Okay. Today we're focusing on just the equations in the pictures and not really story problems. So first we're going to match these together. So like if we look at number 1, we have 2x plus 5 equals 19. So there should be 2 x's and a 5, and then that equals 19. Well, if we look at A, we have a 5 and 2 x boxes, and it should equal 19. So that one works there. And if we look at B, it also has 2 x's and a 5, and it equals 19. So it can actually work for both of those. So 1 is done. So then number 2, 2 plus 5x equals 19. So we should have a 2 and then 5 x's. So if we look at C, it has a 2 and 5 x's, right? And it equals 19. So 2 goes with C. And there's nothing else with 5 x's and just 1, 2. So that's the only one. Okay, then 3, it says 2 times x plus 5 equals 19. So that means there's 2 groups of x plus 5. Well, it looks like D is the only one that has 2 groups of x plus 5, and it equals 19. So D would have 3. Okay, and then 4, 5 times x plus 2 equals 19. So 5 groups of x plus 2. So E has 5 groups of x plus 2, right? So number 4 would go with E. Okay, number 5, 19 equals 5 plus 2x. Well, there's 2 x's and a 5, and it should equal 19. So that's the same as A and B again. So let's put 5 on both of those. Then 6, x plus 5 times 2 equals 19. So 2 groups of x plus 5 still. So 6 can go here next to D. Okay, and then number 7, 19 equals x plus 2 times 5. So 5 groups of x plus 2. So that goes with E. Then number 8, 19 divided by 2 equals x plus 5. Well, if D, it has 2 groups, right? So if we divide that by 2, then that would tell us what one of the groups is. So 8 will work with D. And then 9, 19 minus 2 equals 5x. We'll see if we do 19 minus 2, take those away, we'll be left with 17. Well, that would leave us with 5 x's. So 9 can go with this one as well. Okay. So that's just kind of helping you to see how they go together. Okay. And if we wanted to sort these, we could sort them into groups of one's using distributive property and one's not using distributive property. It's just one way. Alright, so let's just go down to the next section. So, draw a tape diagram to match each equation. Alright, so we need a long box, and we need to say that it totals something, right? And that total should be 114, because that's what it equals. So then we have 3x plus 18. So we should have 3 boxes that are all labeled x, right? And then there's the plus 18 more. And that's your picture. Okay, not too hard. So the next one, again, we have a long box, and it should equal 114. But then notice it has 3 times y plus 18. So that means there should be 3 groups of y plus 18. So 3 boxes with y plus 18 in each box. Just like that. Okay, and then it says use any method to find the values for x and y that makes the equations true. So you can either solve the equation, or you could do it a little more mental math way. So if you just solve the equation, we'd minus 18 from both sides, and we get, let's see, 106, right? And then that equals 3x. Then we divide by 3. Then x equals, whoops, I didn't mean 106. I meant 96. Alright, 96 divided by 3, and that is 32. Okay? Or you could have done it a little more mental math way, which is fine, and just thought, well, I need to take 18 from 114, and that leaves me with 96. And then there's 3 x's, so I just need to divide by 3, and that's 32. So again, you can do either way. So then if we do the other one, again, you can either solve the equation, so 114 equals 3 times y plus 18, or you could do mental math. So if you follow and solve the equation, first we want to divide by 3, so 114 divided by 3 is 38, and that leaves us with y plus 18, so then we just minus 18 from both sides, so then y equals 20. Again, you could also do mental math, like 114 divided by 3 is 38, so that tells us each box has to have 38 in it, and then we know then we can do 38 minus 18 to find y, which would be 20. You could have also added all the 18s together and have gotten 54, and did 114 minus 54, and gotten 60. And then there's 3 y's, so you just do 60 divided by 3, which is also 20. So there's a few different ways you guys can solve these. Alright, so then the next one, find the solution without writing anything down, so that's just mental math. So if we look at number 1, x plus 1 equals 5. Well, something plus 1 has to equal 5. The only thing that we can add 1 to equal 5 would be 4, right? So we're just using a little bit of logic here. So then the next one, 2 times x plus 1 equals 10. Well, there's 2 groups that have to equal 10. So if we want the value of just one group, we'd have to divide that by 2. So one group, like the x plus 1, should equal 5, because that's half of 10. And then something plus 1 equals 5, well, we know that from the last one, it's 4. Okay, so the next one, 3 groups of x plus 1 equals 15. So if we just want one group, we'd have to do 15 divided by 3, which is 5. I know you're not supposed to write anything down, but this is going to help you to see how I'm thinking. Okay, so then we have x plus 1 equals 5. We know that should be 4. Okay, and then the last one, 500 equals 100 times x plus 1. So we have 100 groups of x plus 1. So if we want just one group, we'd want to divide by 100. So 500 divided by 100 would leave us with 5. And that equals x plus 1. Well, then we know x equals 4. So this one hopefully got you to see that, you can use mental math on these, okay? So then this one, draw a tape diagram to represent the situation. So we're not going to solve yet, just write a tape diagram. So here's our tape diagram. It has to equal something. So it says Diego has 7 packs of markers. Each pack has X markers in it. After Lynn gives him 9 more markers, he has a total of 30. Okay, so there's 7 packs of markers. 5, 6, 7. We'll pretend like those are all the same. And they all have X's in them. And Lynn gave him 9 extra. Not in each pack though, just 9 extra. So it gets its own box. And it should equal a total of 30. So your picture should look something like this. Okay, and then we'll come back to this in just a minute. So then number 2. Elena is cutting a 30-foot piece of ribbon for a craft project. So we have our long box, and the total should be 30, because the whole ribbon is 30 feet long. And then she cuts off 7 feet. So she takes 7 feet away, and then she cuts the remaining pieces into 9 equal lengths of X feet each. So there should be 9 equal boxes. Okay, and they should each be worth X. Oop. Okay. Then number 3, need another box. A construction manager weighs a bundle of 9 identical bricks and a 7-pound concrete block. The bundle weighs 30 pounds. So this whole thing should weigh 30. He weighed a bundle of 9 identical bricks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 identical bricks, but we don't know how much they weigh. Those are all X's. And then a 7-pound concrete block. And there's just one of those, so just 1, 7. Okay, and then notice 2 and 3 have similar pictures, right? They're just flipped around. Okay, and then number 4, a skating rink charges a group rate of $9 plus a fee to rent each pair of skates. A family rents 7 pair of skates and gets a total of $30. Okay, so they charge one group rate of $9 and then a fee for each pair of skates. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think those are all about the same, but we don't know how much they are. So then those are all X's. So then notice that's like number 1, right? Okay, and then our last one. Oops. I promise you on this one you're going to have to draw a very wide box. So draw it kind of big. Okay. So Andre makes 9 pounds of brownies. Okay. He donates 7 of the pans to a bake sale and keeps the rest to divide equally among his class of 30 students. So there's 9 total pans, and he donated 7 of them to the school, but then he kept the last 2 and divided them among 30 students. So that means we're going to have 30 boxes. So we're going to kind of cut this into 30 pieces. So I did 6 columns, and then we're going to have 5 rows. That a little bit more even. Okay, because 5 times 6 would be 30, right? So a 5 by 6 rectangle would give us 30 squares. And then all of these should have x's in them. Because he took the last 2 pans and divided them among 30 kids. So all these little boxes and x's represent 30 different students. Okay. So then, the next one says, match these equations to the situations from before. So we have A, 7x plus 9 equals 30. Well, that's like number 4, right? It's also like number 1. So go back to number 1 and put an A next to it. Then B, 30 equals 9x plus 7. So 9x's plus is 7. So that'd be like number 3 and number 2. And then finally, 30x plus 7 equals 9. That would be like number 5. So then, all we need to do is solve these, okay? So I'm going to kind of break this up so we can show our work. So let's do the 7x plus 9 equals 30 right here. So we can solve the equation. So minus 9 from both sides. So 7x equals 21. So then we divide both sides by 7. X equals 3. Okay, or you could have solved it using mental math, which is fine. So, well, I need to do 30 minus 9, which would leave me with 21. And then there were 7 x's, so 21 divided by 7 is 3. So again, you can do it either way. Alright, so the next one, 30 equals 9x plus 7. We'd want to minus 7 from both sides. So we'd have 23 equals 9x. Let's see. Divide by 9. So then x equals 23/9, basically. Or you could do the decimal, so 2.5 repeated. Okay, either of these. Or you could have done mental math. So 30 minus 7 gives you 23. And then you know you need to divide that by 9, which would still give you 2.5 repeated, or 23/9. Okay, and then our last one, we'll just do it right here. That is 30x plus 7 equals 9. So first we'd want to subtract 7 from both sides. So 30x equals 2. Then we'd want to divide both sides by 30. So then x equals 1/15. Or you could say x equals 0.06 repeated. Okay? Oh, sorry. Or you can do mental math. So you have to do 9 minus 7, which leaves you with 2. And then you have to divide that into 30 pieces, which would be 1/15 or 0.06 repeated. Alright. So then number 3, what does each solution tell you about its situation? Well, let's see, this one's A, this one was B, this one was C. So A equation, so like number 4, the missing piece was the fee to rent each pair of skates, right? So that means for number 4, it's $3 for each pair of skates. Or you could just say $3 each. And then we know that also went with number 1. So this one, remember the unknown was each pack has X markers in it. So that means for number 1, it's standing for 3 markers in each pack. Okay. So then for B, that's number 2 and 3. So if we look at number 2, She had a 30 feet piece of ribbon. She cut off 7 feet and cuts the 9 equal lengths of X feet each. So that tells us how long each piece should be. So it's 2.5 repeated, or 23/9 feet for each piece. Then if we look at number 3, construction manager weighs a bundle of 9 identical bricks and a 7-pound concrete block. So the unknown is the 9 identical bricks. So it's 2.5 pounds for each brick. Okay, and then last but not least, for C, which was number 5, the unknown was the part that he's dividing equally among the 30 kids. So each kid is getting 1/15 of a pan of brownies, or 0.06 repeated of a pan. Okay, so just remember on these, you need to use the picture to write an equation, or use the equation to write a picture, and then you can just use mental math if you want to solve, but then don't forget to do units on these guys, okay? So feet, pounds, pan of brownies, dollars, markers, whatever it is. Don't forget your units. Alright, that's it. You can just work on your homework for the rest of the time. Bye.